Your life as Mew. You are the ancestor of all Pokémon, yet you're more alone than any creature has ever been. You possess the DNA of every species that has ever existed, can learn any move, transform into any form. But there's only one of you. You are so rare that most believe you're just a myth. This is the burden of being perfect in an imperfect world. You exist before memory begins, floating in the space between legend and reality, between what was and what could be. Your consciousness awakens not with the sharp cry of birth, but with the gentle hum of ancient knowledge flowing through your cells. You are Mew, a pink bipedal Pokémon with mammalian features, large blue eyes that have seen the birth of worlds, and fur so fine it can only be seen under a microscope. You are 1 foot 4 inches of concentrated possibility, weighing 8.8 pounds of pure genetic potential. You don't remember being born because you weren't born in any traditional sense. You simply became. One moment there was nothing, the next there was you, carrying within your tiny form the DNA of every Pokémon that would ever exist. You are the rough draft from which all others were written, the first note in an endless symphony of life. Your first sensation isn't sight or sound, but loneliness. It hits you like a psychic wave, the understanding that you are singular in a way no other creature will ever be. You have the playful, childish personality of someone who has seen the birth and death of countless species, yet maintains an innocent curiosity about the world. You can make yourself invisible at will, levitate, teleport, and transform into any Pokémon that has ever existed. But none of these powers can create what you want most, another you. You spend centuries in faraway island, your sanctuary hidden from the world. Here you play hide and seek with yourself, transforming into different Pokémon just to imagine what it would be like to have companions. You become a Pikachu and chase your own tail. You shift into a Charizard and roar at the empty sky. You take the form of a Blastoise and spray water at imaginary enemies. Each transformation is perfect, complete down to the cellular level. But it's all pretend. You're still you, just wearing different costumes in an empty theater. You create protective energy orbs around yourself, green, yellow, pink, like colorful bubbles of safety in your solitary world. They float around you as you drift through the island's hidden groves, casting rainbow shadows on ancient trees that have watched you play alone for longer than most civilizations have existed. Every day you hope someone pure of heart will find you, someone who truly wants to see you for who you are, not what you represent. The island becomes your playground and your prison. You know every leaf, every stone, every grain of sand. You've counted the waves that crash against the shore. 847,392,156, and still counting. You've named every bug, every bird, every fish that calls this place home. They don't fear you because you've never given them reason to. You're just the pink creature who sometimes looks like them, who plays gentle games and never takes more than you need. But even paradise grows lonely when you're the only one of your kind. Then he comes. Mr. Fuji finds you deep in the jungle, following rumors and legends that most scientists dismiss as folklore. For the first time in millennia, someone sees you not as a legend or a prize, but as a living being. He's old, patient, with kind eyes that remind you of your own. He doesn't try to catch you or contain you. He simply sits and waits, offering berries and speaking in soft tones about his research, his dreams of understanding the connections between all Pokémon. You allow him to study you because finally someone cares about understanding rather than capturing. He names you Mew, a sound that somehow captures both your mystery and your playfulness. You let him take samples of your DNA, not understanding the implications, trusting his gentle nature. For the first time since your existence began, you feel seen, valued, loved for who you are rather than what you can do. Mr. Fuji treats you with genuine kindness. He brings you new berries to try, tells you stories of the outside world, shows you pictures of other Pokémon living in harmony with humans. You begin to dream of a world where you might not be alone, where your uniqueness might be a gift rather than a curse. You start to believe that maybe, just maybe, you could find your place among others. But trust, you learn, is a dangerous thing when you're the rarest creature alive. Scientists use your DNA without your knowledge. They don't want to understand you. They want to improve upon you. In laboratories you've never seen, using genetic material you freely gave in trust, they begin their work. They call their project ambitious, revolutionary, necessary. They create Mewtwo, calling him the most powerful Pokémon of all, as if you were just a rough draft, a failed first attempt at perfection. Your genetic material becomes the foundation for an experiment in playing God. They strip away what they see as weaknesses, your playfulness, your curiosity, your capacity for joy. They amplify what they consider strengths, raw psychic power, combat ability, ruthless intelligence. They create not a companion for you, but a replacement, a better version, Mew 2.0. The betrayal cuts deeper than any physical wound. You trusted, and that trust was weaponized against you. Your DNA, freely given in friendship, becomes the blueprint for something that was never meant to exist. You feel the moment Mewtwo awakens, his consciousness blazing across the psychic spectrum like a dark star. He is everything you are, but twisted by anger and abandonment. You meet your clone in a place between worlds, drawn together by the impossible gravity of shared genetics and opposing purposes. He is everything you are, but twisted by anger and abandonment. Where you are playful, he is serious. Where you are curious, he is suspicious. Where you seek connection, he seeks dominance. You see in him what loneliness can become when it turns to rage instead of hope. I am the superior being, he declares, his voice echoing with psychic force. You are obsolete. But you see through his anger to the pain beneath. He is alone, just as you are alone. The difference is that his loneliness has curdled into hatred, while yours has remained open to love. He was born in a laboratory, surrounded by beings who saw him as a weapon rather than a life. You were born in wonder, even if that wonder led to solitude. You fight Mewtwo, not out of anger, but out of love. Love for the world he threatens, love for the Pokémon caught in between, and strangely, love for him. Every move you use, he can counter. Every transformation you make, he can match. You realize you're not just fighting your clone. You're fighting the darkest parts of yourself, the bitterness and rage that could have consumed you if you'd chosen differently. The battle rages across dimensions. You become a Charizard. He becomes a Blastoise. You shift to Alakazam. He mirrors with Machamp. Each form perfect, each encounter precise. You're evenly matched because you're the same being, split into light and shadow. But there's something he doesn't understand, something the scientists couldn't replicate in their sterile laboratory. You've learned to love your loneliness instead of letting it destroy you. As the battle reaches its crescendo, you do something unexpected. You stop fighting. You transform back into your true form and simply float there, arms spread wide, vulnerable and open. Mewtwo's Psychic Blast hits you full force, sending you tumbling through the air. But you don't retaliate. Instead, you smile. Why? He demands, his voice cracking with confusion and rage. Why don't you fight back? Because, you say, your voice carrying the weight of millennia. Being powerful doesn't mean being alone. Being unique doesn't mean being superior. Through your playful nature and selfless actions, you demonstrate that true strength comes from connection, not isolation. You show him memories, not of battles won or powers displayed, but of quiet moments. The first time you made a flower bloom just to see its beauty. The way you've protected the creatures of Faraway Island without them ever knowing. The joy you felt when Mr. Fuji first smiled at you. The battle ends not with victory, but with understanding. Mewtwo sees what he could become if he chose love over hatred, connection over domination. He doesn't become you. He remains himself, but he begins to understand that strength and gentleness aren't opposites. They're partners. You return to your invisible existence, but changed. You understand how that being the ancestor of all Pokémon doesn't make you separate from them. It makes you responsible for them. Your loneliness transforms from a burden into a purpose. You watch over the Pokémon world not as a distant god, but as a guardian who understands that sometimes the greatest power is knowing when not to use it. You appear to those pure of heart who have a strong desire to see you, but now you understand why. It's not about being rare or special. It's about recognizing kindred spirits, beings who, like you, understand that true strength comes from protecting others rather than dominating them. Each encounter is brief but meaningful, a reminder that connection doesn't require permanence to be real. You remain a myth to most, appearing only to those pure of heart who have a strong desire to see you. But you're no longer hiding from the world. You're protecting it, because being the first doesn't mean you have to be alone. Sometimes it means you get to be everyone's ancestor, everyone's protector, everyone's hope that magic still exists in the world. The rarest Pokémon isn't rare because it's hard to find. It's rare because it chooses who gets to find it. And that choice, that connection, that moment of pure wonder when someone finally sees you, that makes all the loneliness worth it. You float through dimensions now, watching over the world you helped create. Sometimes you intervene, a gentle push here, a protective barrier there, always invisible, always caring. You've learned that love doesn't require presence to be real. Sometimes the greatest act of love is watching from afar, ensuring that others can live the connected lives you've always dreamed of. Your story doesn't end with finding others like you, because there are no others like you. Instead, it ends with the understanding that being unique doesn't mean being isolated. You carry within you the essence of every Pokémon that has ever lived or ever will live. In a way, you're never truly alone. You're connected to everything. And in the quiet moments, when the world sleeps and the stars shine down on Faraway Island, you sometimes transform into different Pokémon not to pretend you're not alone, but to celebrate the incredible diversity of life you've helped make possible. Each form is a love letter to the world, a reminder that from one small pink creature came infinite possibility. You are Mew, the ancestor of all Pokémon, the keeper of genetic memories, the guardian of possibilities. You are alone, but you are not lonely. You are rare, but you are not hidden. You are powerful, but you are not proud. You are exactly who you were always meant to be.